Oh, welcome. I'm glad for all of you who are with us in the virtual world as we gather. As many of you know, I am Pastor Beth Ortiz, the pastor of Kilbourne and Ashley UMC, and I am really excited to be here and for you to get a chance to meet and get to know a little bit virtually of your incoming pastor, Ryan Skelton. So,
Hi, guys.
fun fact, Ryan and I have known each other about 6 years. We started our appointments at the same time. We've overlapped in...
We did some of, I don't think it was licensing school, but we did some of our initial, orientation type things together.
That is, we were all in the new pastor cycle where we all looked slightly stunned and a little, pretty much perpetually. I don't know that my expression has actually gotten any clearer, but that is true. So Ryan and I are just going to sit and talk and let everybody get to know him a little bit. I'm just going to say, Ryan, first of all, I'm really excited that you're coming. I've always thought you were just a great guy and a good pastor, and I'm really excited to be kind of passing on the future of these churches to you. But as we start, I think the first question I need to know and they need to know is, what in the world do you want them to call you?
Right. Well, I'm sure everyone will figure out I'm a pretty laid-back person, so I'm not too picky. I think you did mention, whether people should call me Reverend. Reverend technically isn't correct until I'm ordained, but other than that, I don't think I'm really too concerned. And you can call me Ryan for all I'm concerned.
That was always kind of my stance too. I always said, as long as you called me it respectfully, we were fine. Right. So, maybe for the right name. I have been occasionally called a wrong name, but I just roll with that too.
I get Brian a lot throughout life, so.
The worst one I ever got was somebody in the South. I was telling them my name, and they asked me, Death? I was like, yes, my parents named me Death. That's how they felt about my birth.
And I didn't change it.
Yeah, I owned this identity. Yeah. So you gotta wonder what kind of job you get with that. So probably not the pastor you want officiating your funeral, right? Oh, and the Reverend Death Ortiz will be here today. Though maybe that's actually a missed opportunity. They could market that.
I guess we'll never know.
There's still time. Oh, well, so Ryan, could you, and I met, even though we've known each other now for six years almost, I don't actually know, where did you grow up?
I grew up, so I was born around the Youngstown area, but a lot of my mom's side of the family is up around, it's a tiny town called Brookfield, it's right on the border of Ohio where Akron is there in Pennsylvania, and it's a tiny town, and then I moved to Columbus then and grew up in Columbus for high school, basically, when my mother married my stepdad and he was living in Columbus. So I kind of, growing up, I was split in my younger years. I was kind of in a smaller town, and then as a teenager, I grew up in Columbus.
So small towns are kind of in your blood a little bit, since that's where you're...
Yeah, in my background, absolutely, yeah. And especially on my grandmother's side of the family, a lot of family from up in the mountains of Pennsylvania, so really in the middle of nowhere. So
that's fair. Well, and actually, I'm from outside Youngstown as well. So,
oh, really?
So yeah, so we probably have the similar voice patterns and accent. Though I spent some time in Mississippi, and you smoothed yours out probably in the city of Columbus. So did you graduate from what high school?
It was called Franklin Heights High School. It was part of the Southwestern City School District in Columbus.
So where'd you go? Before I move on to your future. So do you have siblings? Or are you an only child? Or?
I have one biological sibling, a sister named Heather. She's a couple of years younger than me. And then I have two step siblings, a stepbrother who lives out in Georgia, and a stepsister who actually just recently got a position at a church in Columbus as a youth pastor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
It is exciting.
So are you able to keep kind of in good touch with your siblings? Or, I know with mine, sometimes it's harder than...
Yeah, so my sister lives just not too far in Mount Vernon, and I keep in touch with my stepsister, a little less so, with stepbrother being out of state. So
it is hard with distance.
It is.
Yeah. So where did you go then for undergrad, and what was your major? Was it religion or?
Undergrad, yeah. So I went to the Mount Vernon Nazarene University and got undergrad in Christian theology. to prepare for then going to seminary after that, which since we're on that too, a lot of people are already aware of it. Ashley, I know, but went to a Methodist, Methesco down, or MTSO, whatever you want to call it now.
Yeah, that is true. Most of our diehards will still know it as Methesco. Yeah, that is a rebranding that has been, for those who've known it a long time, that's been a hard change to. We were trained MTSO for all of you out there, but you know it as Methesco, where I'm also a graduate. So that is awesome. So now, Ryan, you are, besides for your professional life and your family that you grew up in, you're married to Jasmine, and you have a son. So can you tell us a little bit, like, how did you meet Jasmine?
I love telling the story of Jasmine and I meeting because we went to high school together. Actually, we were close friends growing up in high school, and freshman year and sophomore year, I'd asked her out, and she told me no both times. So junior year, I finally gave up, and we had English class together, and I think she kind of got jealous that I wasn't, that we weren't as close anymore, and I'd kind of given up and started talking to some of the other girls. So then by senior year, we'd gotten closer again, and I asked her out, and she finally said yes. And so we've been together since then, going on 12 years now. So we're high school sweethearts, and been really happy. Really excited to start this next part of our lives together. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that actually sounds like that'd be a really awesome video to have Jasmine in here and talk about why she rejected you the first 2 years. but we'll give her time to, she can tell those stories herself sometime. But yeah, that's awesome though. And that's really amazing that you guys connected so well. Because you moved to Columbus right around your high school years?
So actually, Jasmine and I moved to the same school district at the same time. Now, she had been going somewhere else in Columbus, but she moved to the same school district that I was moving in, from the smaller town I came from. And so we started, as the new kids in school at the same time. So
I would imagine that'd be bonding in itself, but certainly there was more than just that, obviously.
Yeah.
That's great. So do you mind sharing with us a little bit, what does Jasmine do with life?
With life?
What does she do professionally, or give us just a real fast? I don't want to make you tell Jasmine's story, but also since we've got you here, I know she works outside in somewhere. So.
Yeah, well, she works in Columbus at the Nationwide Children's Hospital. She's worked in some capacity around pharmacy pretty much her entire adult career life. And currently she works as what's called a 340B analyst at the hospital, which essentially means that she spends a lot of time auditing this government program that helps the hospital pay for some of the more expensive medications for the patients that can't afford it. So she spends a lot of time auditing that program and just making sure everything lines up there.
Well, that's such a gift to those families that need that.
Oh, absolutely. She feels really blessed to have come into this position, because it wasn't something she was necessarily aiming for in life, but the opportunity was provided for her, and she feels really blessed to be a part of something that's helping people like that. So.
Well, absolutely. I mean, that's really kind of a calling in itself there. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. Well, and I know not too long ago, you and Jasmine welcomed Rowan into your family, your baby boy. So what do you enjoy about being a dad? That's kind of your new adventure right now, right?
Yeah, well, I really feel that one of the blessings that just having children in general is having just this greater sense of purpose that God's given us, honestly. And part of how I see that is, but before you have your free time and you spend that, however you see fit. And then of course, once you have a child, that's a little less so. And you realize that even with having that time that's dedicated then to, this major responsibility in life, it's all that much more fulfilling, I've found, and not nearly as, draining when you're just kind of, wondering, what you're spending the rest of your time doing. So I've just really just been glad to be able to just enjoy all my time being the father, I suppose, and being able to contribute to the future of what God out as planned. So.
That's well put.
Thank you.
That is absolutely well put. And for all you out there, I'll let you know that I've met Rowan, and I think he's pretty top notch. But as many in our congregation know, our girls, Belle and Amanda, since Belle has met Rowan, she can't stop talking about him. And I mean, they met for a couple
20
minutes at Med,
maybe? Yeah.
and but she is all about baby Rowan. And so you guys have to be taken with him because she is absolutely enamored. She is always though trying to buy him like princess gear when we're out. Most recently, high heel shoes. Wouldn't baby Rowan like these? And I was like, I don't know that baby Rowan's even walking yet.
Yeah.
I actually don't think he's crawling. So how old is he, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's 4 months. So yeah, no walking.
So probably not high heels
crawling.
yet. I
No,
mean,
I might struggle with those. So.
That's fair enough. So he'll be just about 6 months when you come on Kilborn and Ashley.
Yeah.
What an exciting time! That's
yeah, absolutely.
yeah. I'm sure watching all their development is just so amazing at these ages.
Right, because it's just one thing after the other at this age.
Yeah.
It's for one day we're excited because he's reaching out and grabbing something, and now we got to keep him away from things already because he's just reaching out for everything. So.
Isn't it amazing how fast that excitement turns a little bit to like terror of like, oh wait, we didn't actually baby-proof the house.
Don't touch this.
We learn fast as parents, don't we?
Yeah.
Which translates very well to ministry. Gotta learn as you go and think on your feet.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a learning process, I think.
And it is. So one more question I want to ask you tonight, and this is just something in our area that often comes up. So being not from Columbus, but you're some finishing years in Columbus, we'll say. So are you a Buckeyes fan in general, or because you didn't go to the OSU, which I did not either, so we can survive that. Don't worry.
So, but I know people that did, so I don't know if that counts.
Oh, that's closer than I do, really. So are you a fan, or are you willing to fake it here?
I'm gonna fake. Well, I grew up in Columbus, so I'm definitely able to fake it. So.
Well, that's good to know. We've not brought a Michigan fan in, so that's great. And all of you can look forward to. We'll have some more videos for you to get to know Ryan as we get ready for this transition. And again, Ryan, I want to thank you for your time, and I want to tell all of you out there that the more I talk to Ryan and the more I learn about him, I'm just really excited that he's who's coming, and certainly look forward. I hope you're all looking forward to meeting him and in person. But in the meantime, we'll make sure you get to know him a little bit more. So thanks.